Welcome to TATuP Talks, a podcast by Journal for Technology Assessment in Theory and Practice.
Dear Cordula Kropp, you're a sociologist and professor at the University of Stuttgart, specialized in risk and technology research. Since 2017, you have been the director of the Center for Interdisciplinary Risk and Innovation Research, SIRIUS, at the University of Stuttgart. If I'm right, you studied sociology, psychology, ethnology, and political science at the Ludwig-Maximilians University in Munich, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So since your research focus lies on environmental technology, urban and risk sociology, with an emphasis on infrastructure change, sustainability development, and social innovation, how long have you been thinking about editing a special topic in TATuP?
Effectively, I didn't think very long about this question. I got the call, and already before I had wondered whether it would not be very interesting to a little bit explore the state of research concerning technology assessment of a material transition. The background is that I'm part of a bigger cluster of excellence concentrated on its name is Integrative Computational Design and Construction for Architecture. And one question that we are very much interested in is to enable technologically, but also at the level of epistemic infrastructures and understanding materials in a better way, in a computational supported way. And so one idea was to really try to explore the current state of research into a material transition from a perspective that integrates technological and social sciences perspectives. And the other point for my decision was that I also wanted to work together with my colleague, a materials expert, and that I thought this gives me the possibility to investigate from a dual perspective what is needed for such a material transition.
So you mentioned that you did the edition together with Dr. Simon Aicher. He is an academic director at the University of Stuttgart's Material Testing Institute, the MPA, and heads the Timber Constructions Department.
I have perhaps to add, he has been on this and he is still very much engaged at the Materialprüfungsanstalt.
Yeah.
And also he is giving many presentations about this, but officially he is now retired.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, that is an important information. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how come that you decided to publish the special topic together? So you mentioned you didn't know each other before?
Yes, we didn't know each other. We are both part of the cluster I mentioned before, and I asked him already before. We had often discussed the difficulties, what it takes to have a turnaround in construction towards sustainability, to more use of timber. He is an expert in this, which really very long-standing experiences, not only from an academic point of view, but also really practically in the Materialprüfungsanstalt, which means he is really on a daily basis confronted with the possibilities and also the limits of different materials. And my idea was, yes, that we would like to do it together, and he accepted, I think, immediately or quite quickly. Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, where is the need for a material transition in architecture and construction? And where do you see the link to technology assessment? I know this is a huge question and you turn it out in the whole special topic, but probably you can put it in a nutshell.
Okay, perhaps we start first with what it is, a material transition, or to what it refers. And there has been an important publication also by the United Nations Environmental Program. And I think that's a good point to step in, and they make it clear how important such a shift is, a shift away from this wasteful building with materials that are that have such a huge share in greenhouse gases. I think that's the best, the right way. Yeah. So it's clear that we need to transition away from this. There are several reasons. It's one of the most important source of carbon dioxide, and even we can, if we make the calculation that we would cover the needs of shelter and infrastructure, so the needs to build homes and infrastructure for all the persons that will be on planet Earth until 2050, we would have completely overused the budget remaining with regard to the Paris Agreement by the end of the century. So we cannot do it. We don't have the budget for carbon emissions, and we don't have enough materials. It's mainly sand for cement, but also other materials, and the energy needed to build cement, which is the main component of concrete. And concrete is, let's say, the building material that needs to be drastically reduced in the coming years. I would like to show you the picture from the United Nations Environmental Program, where they make a decline from nearly 60% down to 10%. And of course, this is not only that all the other materials come in from bio-based materials, but also from many recycling and reusing of building elements. So this is very important too. And there are also mixed materials that will become more important. So in a way, the term material transition refers to the necessary shift towards much more resource efficient construction that minimizes waste, reduces carbon dioxide emissions, and this is very important, prioritizes renewable, reusable, reused, and bio-based materials. So it's a fundamental shift. Imagine any sector, we have any industrial sector, and you tell them they have to change completely with regard to their resources and their materials. So we can see that it is nothing which can be done very easily. Instead, we have to be aware that these materials are extracted, are sourced mostly globally in global supply chains. They are often transported very large distances. Also wood, for instance, it can come nearby, but it can also travel long distances. Then it is worked on and fabricated with much of expertise and with different disciplines and different crafts that need to work together. It's quite a fragmented industry, and it has to be designed depending from the characteristics of the material and also the characteristics of what you are planning and where it should be then constructed. And it is the environment in which we live most of our time. We are inside, indoors, anywhere, and we always experience materials, even we are not aware of it. So it is really one of the most basic needs to have residential construction, housing, infrastructure, and it is completely dependent from the materials used. And right now we are on a track, my colleague Achim Menges calls it a take, make, waste mentality. We exploit materials from everywhere. We use them once, often not so long as we could, but it's quite quickly demolished. Then you cannot make much more from it. It's used for as gravel for streets, but the largest part is not recycled or reused. And this is such a huge challenge to completely change all this practice. And it's so much linked to expertise, technologies, organizations, economies, political regulation. So it's, I think, quite clear that technology assessment can contribute a lot to better explore how we can enable this shift and what it may mean for all those affected by this huge transition.
Thank you very much. Actually, my next question would have been the challenges, but now you mentioned some of the challenges already. So I would like to ask the contributions to the special topic. Have there been any surprises for you, or did you know
Yeah.
all the special topic authors?
No, no, I didn't know all the authors. I knew some of them, and I was very happy when I heard that they would submit something. Others I knew a little bit, but not really. Most of the contributions came out of the blue, and we are very happy with the selections that we have right now. So
Great.
I think it's a successful special topic. It shows both. And on the one side, it shows that it is a research field dramatically understudied. There is, if we see the significance it has, and if we compare it, for instance, to all those researchers doing with energy transition, mobility transition, also food transformations, and there are nearly very, very, very few ones concerned with this material transition, it's a shame, and it's also I cannot really understand it. But I have in the meanwhile also discovered that in all these science and technology studies, also architecture and construction are really understudied. This is a pity in a way. So we have very different contributions. There are some contributions, I think of Lennart Fischer and Sebastian Losacker, for instance, who have done research on the socio-technical imaginaries of experts in 4 quite different countries. It's Italy and Germany in Europe, and China and India, and they compare the visions and the expectations of the pathway material transition, and they also identify which materials, cane, bamboo, how they are considered to play a role in this transition, and what is the narrative about this. And they also show that it's not only a question of the visions and expectations, but also the standards and the social practice or the craftsmanship behind these materials. There is another pair, Sarah Delven and Pierre Delvaux, 2 Belgian authors, who also a little bit show on the study the visions, but more from a valuation studies perspective. They explore how the materials and the transition is constituted as a good, how it is valued, how it is made existent, and with which valuations and which forms to account of it in a way. And I found their paper very interesting and inspiring, and they also highlight that it's a lot talk about training and about technology, but nearly no concern with what it means for work. This is also something I often find, that it's only considered as an expert affair, a technological problem or challenge, and you do not see what it means for labor and the workforce, which is very important as well. Yeah, and then we have one contribution from Stefan Richter and his colleagues, who are exploring ways to grow timber in the lab, customized wood products from the lab. Very interesting. This would avoid to take the timber from the forests, and also some unintended environmental side effects. Yeah, and it's a very explorative study, but it shows nevertheless what is right now done and what the implications would be. For instance, they highlight that it would ask for more collaboration within construction systems. More, then we have a very interesting paper looking more to the wealth of knowledge already rooted in the past. So they say, if we want to change, and if we want to reduce material, and if we want to recycle, we can start immediately. It's a paper around Johannes Varda, because there is already a lot of knowledge prepared for this, and we can step in. It's an interesting paper on how to leverage the existing experiences and practices from historic preservation, from Denkmalschutz in a way. So this is also a very interesting paper. We have one that looks at KIT, how materials libraries can support such a transition. The lead author is Andreas Seebacher. It's also interesting what it makes to have these different materials in their characteristics in the hand and how it can inspire people to think differently. And we have a paper from Carola Dierichs with a very interdisciplinary team. She works under the concept of future syntopic life, I think, or future syntopic living. And she is investigating what we can do and how we could do and build with timber that is infested by bark beetles. So it's damaged trees, damaged wood in a way, which is more and more common as with rising temperatures. We have also more bark beetles in German forests. So I think this is the contributions to the special topic. These are also contributions to the special topic. Yeah.
I'm interested in if you think that the contributions affect your current work or your future work probably. So do you probably have new teams or new ideas, inspirations for future work?
Yes, we were, interestingly, when I showed the special topic to my team, they stepped in immediately with lots of ideas how to continue with more research. So they were quite positive about it, and they wanted immediately to go on with further ideas. And these are mostly on two levels. On the one level is the epistemic level. How can we better understand materials and also better understand that these materials in a global circular, not only economy, but in a circular living of all of us. I think you have nicely covered this also. But what do we know about materials and how can we better, of course, support it also computationally, step in with the materials of already used materials and there are already existing damages and strengths and weaknesses to use them again. And what does this mean also for our perception of material relations, of materialities, how we can become part of materialities in a much more circular way, step away from this take, make, waste mentality, but better understand that right now, today, the existing stock is the biggest stock of materials we have. It's bigger than the stock still not touched by humans and still in the earth. So how can we change the complete understanding? There are, of course, some books inspiring this thinking. Yeah. So this is the more epistemological question. And on a more practical level, material relations are built, if you want, in the early childhood, and they go on, and they are very much largely embedded in professional practices. What does it mean to change these practices and to change that distribution of tasks? And how can we change accordingly, design, and have also, yeah, this is what we would like to also better understand in the future, also in the cluster of excellence. My friends from the material sciences could add a lot of it on it.
I need to add that since the last issue, we worked together with LE-Tech, which is an enterprise in Leipzig, and they designed the cover. So just to mention that, we are also very happy with the cover.
Yeah.
You said that you, of course, you showed the TATuP issue to your team. Are there any other persons you showed the issue, the paper printed issue to?
Unfortunately, we got it quite late, I think in the last week before Christmas.
Okay.
And when I then came back, I don't know, the 10th of January or something like this, It was already 4 weeks old. When I took it again before you called me, it remembered me to send it to some colleagues and some friends. And I found it a pity also that the interview is not part of the special topic, because it was planned as part of the special topic, and now it comes some pages later, and in the digital version it's not included. That's really...
Yeah, this is a formal point, that the interview is formally not part of the special topic, since the special topic contains only the introduction and the special topic articles. But I hope that the connection can still be made, also because we have on the start pages, we always have this hint, this article is part of the special topic or part of the issue, so-and-so, with the title of the TATuP special issue.
Those persons who look for a contribution within the special topic, they won't find online the interview. And the interview, I think it's a very good interview because it's very inspiring. It's with two pioneers from the scene, and it opens a little bit the space for thinking what can happen, and how it is linked also to digital and computational technologies. I regret that it is not really part of the special topic. It could be possible to include it. There is a possibility to download the entire special topic. And as I was immediately asked to do the interview, my expectation was that it is automatically part of the special topic. And at least on the online version, I think it would need to be included, because if not, those looking for the issue and the topic will not find the interview.
Thank you very much for this feedback. So we can at least discuss that in the editorial team. I'm not sure if formally we are able to do changes, but at least we can think about how to highlight the interview in other ways in our social media accounts and what we are doing.
The interview perhaps is already getting a lot of attention.
Yes.
As interviewed are quite well known.
Okay.
But the thinking.
I see the point. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's good to know. We're always open for feedback, although we're formally also, we need to stick to some restrictions from the publisher house and so on. So it's not that easy, but it's always good to know what can be changed in future times.
But that's the big contribution datafication comes along with, that you can link again and again without losing anything. And
so is there any points we didn't talk about yet which you want to mention or which you think are interesting, either the content or the process?
I think we didn't really look at this point that you asked me, and what might be interesting. That is, we have thousands of years of building history, and what can we learn from this? And it's interesting that we can immediately learn that all material shifts have been linked to sophisticated technologies, and we're always very context specific, and also in any case strongly embedded to material cultures. So here is the link between the cultural and the technical perspective. And I have looked for what Simon Aicher told about it, and I think his last sentence is quite nice. The evolution of materials in construction reflects a response to both external challenges, such as fire hazards and environmental concerns, and internal innovations, including technological advancements that improve performance and sustainability. So it's really this internal, external, and this openness that the history can teach us.
So I would say, Cordula Kropp, thank you very much that you took the time to talk to me. And I hope that, yes, thank you. All the best for you for the future.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.